Hey, welcome to Comedy Upgrade. This is I'm Dr. Dan French. I should be just Dan French on this, but I'm playing Joke Doctor, stand-up whisperer. I've helped comics write and work on their bits and acts and specials and things like that forever. I love it. I love working with comics on this stuff. I've done it with hundreds of comics. So today we're going to do an episode of that comedy upgrade. Upgrade your comedy, Mike. That's what we're going to do. It's with
I'm
Mike
ready to
Pantzer,
upgrade.
Florida comic. We've known each other for a long time. I was there when Mike first started, right? At the
Yeah, yeah.
workshop in my garage.
With the little stage and I'm trying to think of who was there. Christina Parrish was there.
Yeah, she's
Uh
all over the place now, man. She's trying to be Miss Actress and stuff.
no shit. Yeah, I think I've seen some stuff on Facebook.
She's the kind of person that eventually will do something. Like she's really engaging and things like that. I think sometimes they go the wrong direction when they get into like improv here and stuff, and they start thinking that Austin is some kind of a real place to do professional comedy.
uh
And it derails them for a while, but she could wander out and be useful. Like somebody could throw her, she's a little quirky. You could throw her into
yeah.
something.
I see her being like a groundling or something.
Yeah. And weren't you there with Ashley Barnhill?
Yeah.
She did some stuff. She was on Drunk History and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And um Mike there was another Mike McCarthy or something was in the
McNulty. Yeah.
McNulty was in there.
Irish Boston guy. Was that well you weren't there with Joe the Sicilian, were you?
No,
I
no, I
think
don't
you were
think.
the Joe the Sicilian of your era. I think he was
Uh,
before you or
good
after
to-
you. But there's always one glorious mess in every workshop cycle.
we got a guy here, the angry Texan. It's probably a Joe the he's our Joe the Sicilian.
Why is he in Florida if he's an angry Texan?
I think he's not allowed back into Texas anymore.
Maybe he's angry because he can't get back in Texas.
Same reason everyone comes to Florida.
Yeah,
They're
to get
not
away
allowed
from
back
their
where they
failure
were.
everywhere else, to avoid the law. There's so many subpoenas to be uh, applied in Florida, they can't keep up.
No, no, there's stacks of them. They
Yeah, that's state. I just talked to Jimmy Schubert yesterday. He just moved to Delray Beach.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
nice. He's I saw he was doing shows out here not too long ago. Down in South Florida, like Vero or somewhere.
Yeah, I guess he's right between West Palm and is it Fort Lauderdale?
Yeah.
So yeah, he said LA's dead. He couldn't get any work, so he moved where it's cheaper. And
Florida's wide open, man. God, I mean, we got shows happening every night of the week in every city in the state, and
that's
it's
funny.
nobody. I
Shitty
mean,
comedy from the Panhandle to the Keys.
it is
Shitty
no
comedy
masks
venues, at least.
required. No mask. I mean, I walk into places every day that have big must wear mask signs, and half the people have no masks, and nobody says anything because they're armed, probably, and it's Florida, so they're probably crazy and armed. And you, who wants that?
I liked living in Florida. I was in Tampa for 4 years, and geographically, I like Florida, and I kind of like how crazy the people in Florida are. But
Yeah,
I don't think I can move back there. Like it has that extra element to the crazy of, yeah, they might just, there might be a SWAT standoff at your house the day you move in.
exactly. I mean, it says this image behind me is that is if you could uh, uh, capture the essence of Florida in a photograph, that this is it.
That's beautiful. All right. Well, this is about comedy upgrades, like getting you in. And I do usually like hour-long sessions is the most I'll ever go. It won't go that long today, but I have a certain process that I take comics through, and to me, it's just scripting. It's just running it, hearing it, improving it. Trying to get it on its legs so it's as close as possible to what will work on stage.
Right.
But even then, you'll go up and like even if we work on it, what 60% might work, something like that.
Maybe, yeah,
Maybe,
50 to 60.
and
Usually,
then,
sometimes 20.
yeah. And then, sometimes it's the way you deliver it. Sometimes it's the wrong venue. Sometimes it's the script. You got to record it and come back and go at it again. And eventually it gets really, cooked into a good stand-up goulash. But so we're gonna record some of these, and I'm gonna start showing people how this works a little bit.
Cool.
We've done what, hundreds of these? 100? I think we've done 100.
Easily, easily. Yeah, I've got so many half worked files that
Well, that's the
that,
thing. Like a lot of guys, like especially non, it's not really professional entertainment because you don't have a whole production staff to help you take ideas all the way to perfected filming and
yeah,
all that stuff. So stand up stalls out a lot. And that's one of the reasons why I like working with guys, because I can at least get the script and I can do some directing and get it unstalled. But it takes so much work that, like you and I stopped working together actively on it because I have a bunch of other shit to do and you couldn't pay me
yeah.
because that's stand up.
That's stand up. I can't pay me.
Yeah. So,
That's
is what it is. But we're going to do this. I figured, I'm going to try to get this going again. I'm going to start doing, like I was telling you, I'll help people on Facebook chats so I don't have to actually talk to them and see if that, can at least advance the script forward a little.
sure.
And that's what we did with this.
Well, yeah, I mean, we started with just talking about,
So
I
hold
mean,
on. I'm gonna lay out the background of this because I want you
yeah.
to set it up. All right. So Mike has two things going on right now. Mike always sends me things from his life, premises from his life, and they're always funny because he has a crazy life and a crazy perspective on it. The one he wants to do right now is he had a heart attack, right?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, back in October I had my first. I like to call it the first of what may be many.
So he had like 4 or 5 months ago, he had a heart attack, and so he recorded, some stuff about it. He wrote some stuff, recorded some stuff on stage about it at a bar. What was the place?
Yeah, it was a comedy zone up in the Panhandle.
Okay. Was that a professional gig or an
Yeah,
open mic?
yeah, that was smack in the middle of the set, so I knew I had good stuff to follow it with.
So he tried it out new, and I watched the tape. And the problem with heart attack materials, it's death, and people, I could tell they instantly got worried about you.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I was pretty sweaty at the time too. That probably didn't help. I was beet red and I looked like I was having a heart attack.
Yeah. So we've tabled that one for a little while. We'll come back to it because I think it's Mike's career right now is in bars and sort of B-level clubs, around the country and trying to build, up towards a bigger type of stand-up venue. But right now he's making a living in bars essentially, and sort of lower, kind of said B-room comedy clubs. And, they can't handle much reality.
Yeah, they're there to get drunk and forget reality, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
So we'll come back to the heart attack stuff. It's just going to take a more sophisticated writing, I
it's
think.
just so funny that like literally after we talked yesterday, my dad he went for a checkup the other day and he fainted in the doctor's office and they called an ambulance and he's got a pacemaker and shit. So they sent him and his blood pressure apparently when he stands up goes really low.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so they're figuring that out. But his doctor, right after I was telling you about how I was starting cardiac rehab yesterday, I get home and I'm like, so how'd it go at yours? He's like, they're making me go to cardiac rehab. And I'm like, oh, we're going to go together now. So we could be like a father son team and get matching outfits. Because it
That's
is
funny.
I'm like, that part is funny. But yeah, how do you get to that without the
Yeah, and
death?
it's funny, but it's more funny to you because you're in the middle of it and it's an intense experience. But me outside, I don't find it that funny. Like I
No,
don't find that, because you talk about it a lot and I know you're processing it, and that's what stand-ups do. It's all good. But I'm like, nah, that doesn't hit me. What hit me was the other thing you just sort of, threw to me offhand. And the premise here is, what the pandemic has done to people, but not the normal things you would think about. So
Right.
run the background of this a little bit, because that to me is the big hook in it. Is we've all developed new habits and new things during the pandemic. The pandemic has
Yeah.
changed life. So what did it
Well,
do to you?
I mean, I don't know if I developed new habits. I spent the pandemic stoned, and I watched every episode of Vikings on the History Channel. And then I proceeded to learn everything I could about Vikings, watch every Vikings movie, documentary, comedy. I tried to become a Viking, I
Yeah.
think.
So that's the premise. Like that's the
Yeah.
topic area is Vikings. And then you've got the stoner element, watching the Vikings while stoned. And then you've got the pandemic. And then you've got
And I'm legal now. That's the other thing that happened. During the pandemic, I got my pop prescription. So this all came together, the Vikings, the pandemic, and the doctor saying you're legal, and things like $25 quarter ounce Thursdays, and all these things, specials going on, twofers and bocos and this, that I was able to be more stoned than pre-pandemic.
See, so okay, we got three. We're working with three things here, and I'm going to put some of this stuff in the show notes on YouTube when I post this. So this is what I do: is I hear guys tell me funny stuff about their lives, funny thoughts that they've had, and my brain, like, so if you look in screenwriting history, there's the most popular screenwriting book of all time is called Story by Robert McKee, and he splits everything at the very beginning into two skill sets. There's people who can tell good stories. They come up with good stories. They live crazy lives. They have crazy brains, whatever. Very valuable. I used to call those the kind of pepper minds in Hollywood. Like you never know where they're going. And super valuable because they come up with stuff nobody ever thinks about. But you have to match them up with a mechanic, like somebody who knows the absolute mechanics of writing screenplays, because those are incredible. They're completely different skill sets. So you see people all the time who aren't, may not be a, crazy enough brain to make every character insane and interesting. And then they don't learn the mechanics of screenplays. And then they take my class in college. And I'm like, wow, you guys suck on both fronts. But my brain is pretty good on the left, pretty good at the creative if I want to get in there and mess around with it. But it's very good on the right about mechanics of locking it down into stand-up script. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to run this. And I think your strength is the left.
Oh yeah. I mean, I do crazy shit. I say crazy shit, and and I mean, I just, yeah. I'm the guy that nobody knows what's coming next.
So look at your stuff. Like
I
let's
don't.
start with the stuff that you wrote, which is down
Yeah.
at the bottom of that file, and just run through that. And then we'll go back into the stuff that I wrote off your stuff, which is more structured. So let's see
Yes.
what we can. We're looking to harvest lines, like really good lines, little veers and interesting sub ideas within the bit, characters, all that kind of stuff. And that's what my brain is going to listen for and kind of pull out.
Yeah. So I spent the lockdown getting stoned and watching Vikings. That's what I did. Who's seen
So start
Viking?
with like the normal structure. Like I love to start bits, at least when you're writing them, about asking the audience a question.
Yes. So who's anyone seen Vikings on the
So
History
started with
Channel?
how's like the premise is the pandemic. So hey,
Oh,
how's your pandemic going?
I
You
got
know,
yeah. So
anybody else love the pandemic?
you guys having a good pandemic? Let's hear it for the pandemic, everybody. Woo,
Great, yeah.
pandemic. Great times were had. But I got into some new shit. I don't know what you guys were doing during the pandemic, but I I spent the
Let's
whole
try.
last.
Let's try. And again, if you're watching this, don't get frustrated. This is the process. I constantly interrupt as
Yes,
I'm
he does.
writing script, and then we go back and do it again. So I like this. You guys having a good pandemic. Let's hear it for the pandemic. I would do next. The next emotional beat is I love the pandemic. Oh my God. Like it's been
It's been
So good for
amazing
my
for me.
weed, you know.
It's truly been life changing, and I it, you know, you hear people talk about the new normal. I hope so. I hope this is normal because I got it made right now, motherfuckers. I got, let's see, stimulus checks, unemployment,
uh,
Netflix, Hulu, HBO Plus, uh, Amazon Prime. What more could a guy ask for? I got 300 gigabytes of internet speed. I've got 2 screens, sometimes 3 at the same time. That's been my pandemic.
okay,
I
so
don't
that's
know.
great. So you start out kind of talking. That's a different take on the pandemic. I like it. So that's a good intro. I got some notes down there on that. And now you switch and say, first of all, my weed has, like, I don't know about you and your weed, but
I mean,
my
I
weed
don't,
and the pandemic, and
my,
it's like a three-way. It's like a, it's like a menage a weed, like three. It all came together. Me, weed, and
you know, that thing that your wife has never let you do? This has been that for me. For my weed. This has been that for my weed now. I get to do it. I get to do it with other people. She comes along, takes pictures. It's amazing. That's how great my weed has gotten. It's pandemic weed. I got a store that I can almost walk to from my house. And they have promotions, coupons.
I got, let's see, I got certified.
Yeah, I got certified. And not and not the certified you're thinking, but that too.
Doctor, yeah, my doctor took one look at me. He's like, "You need weed." Okay, and they have promotions. Okay, now let's switch it over to Vikings. So, what do you do when you're high? You watch
I watch
400
Vikings.
hours of one TV show, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I know, yeah, I know all of the characters' names. I know their backgrounds, their futures. I know everything about every single Viking now.
So let's start this way. So, like, the generic is, so what does everybody do? Like, okay, you're stuck at home. You know, you got weed, you got Netflix and all this stuff. What this means is you're going to like suck the marrow out of every possible TV show.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I've seen everything. There's nothing on Netflix and Amazon that I haven't seen, but it was the Vikings that really drew me in. I felt, I don't know,
Let's do
I
it. Like, you
felt
know what
at
got
home.
me? Like, I never saw it coming. You know what got me?
Vikings,
Vikings.
Vikings. Usually, I'm more of like an aliens kind of guy, or Caddyshack, but fucking Vikings.
All right. So now let's go back into the top of my bit because it's all about Vikings. Let's just run that script and we'll
Yeah. I mean, anyone here wish they were born a Viking?
I would do that one like, that's kind of a really
If
rallying, like get them,
Yeah.
you know.
Oh, okay.
Who
I
in here
got
is
you.
what, like you got to really
Yeah.
celebrate how much you love the Vikings.
Yeah. No, I'm looking at how some coming at. You know what got me as a Viking? I mean, yeah. Who here wishes they were born a Viking? Yeah, just you and me, Sven. How about you, Brunhilde? Hopefully, I'll find some big fucking burly dudes.
There's going to be, people are going to yell. Everybody wants to be a Viking.
Who doesn't want it? But Vikings and pirates. Those are the two things everybody, Vikings, pirates, and astronauts. I mean, people. I would have made a great Viking.
I would
I'm
again. I would
fat.
hit it like
Yeah.
let's practice like I know you're not
It's
delivering a fully performance right now, but let's practice like just staying in that character of just how much you love the Vikings. Like I would have made a fucking amazing Viking.
I would have made a great Viking. Look, I'm fat. I'm aggressive. I look good in horns. People tell me you look like the kind of guy who would have stormed the Capitol, and they're right. I'm always up for a good storming. I'm not into politics. I don't give a shit about that. But my Viking DNA, I'll fucking storm any. Let's go right now. Let's storm a Chick-fil-A. You'll never see it coming. Some
You're losing a little bit of your
yeah.
enunciation on the end
Yeah.
of the jokes.
I
noticed that a
do
little
that
bit
a
on
lot.
your video too.
I tend to do that. Like I start jump when I'm not. Once I get something down rote, I don't do that. But when I'm still kind of thinking about the next line, yeah, like my words already. Yeah, I've noticed. I've done that for 10 years. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's this weird
I think we've
habit.
had that. We've talked about that before. You speed past the line before they hear it crisply.
Yeah, yeah, I do, and that gets amplified in a lot of these shitty sound systems.
Yeah,
It only makes it way worse. Um, and it tends the more uh big I get,
right.
the more that happens, the more frantic I get.
I think a lot of it is just like you said. You haven't run these scripts at all, so but just kind of be aware of it a little bit as you're practicing it. See if you can,
Yeah, I ran this maybe like 5 times. I worked through this today,
Okay.
sitting on the patio. My brand new neighbors, I'm sure, are fucking
Like that guy really likes being a Viking.
what is going on over there, man? Don't kids know you can't go to that house.
Stay away from the Viking.
Viking. Maybe.
All right, so take it from I'll storm anything.
I'll storm anything. Let's go right now. Let's all storm a Chick-fil-A. They'll
Okay,
never
so
see it.
I want to practice this with you because it's bugging me. Like
What?
you're losing all the jokes.
Where did I did it again?
Yeah, you're still maybe it's because it's later in the day. You're probably stoned, but like
Well,
you
I
need
was
to
stoned
hit.
when I woke up.
Oh, that's true. Well, you need to hit the punch words. So I'll storm anything,
Anything.
anything. Like let's go right now. Come on.
Let's all storm a Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A. That's right.
They'll never see it coming.
They'll never. Yeah. So hit the punch words, and like
I'll
let them
storm. Yeah, I
let them
got
soak
you.
a little. Yeah.
I'm also just I haven't fucking been on stage, and I've been on stage. That was it. That tape I sent you, that was it since March 2nd.
Yeah, it's crazy. I
It's
mean, you're gonna
fucking
have to
brutal.
learn this. We're gonna have to run it like this, run into the camera just so you can get it a little bit patterned into your brain. Because
Yeah, because it was hard. Like even the stuff my oldest bits, like I was off. I was just like even though they worked, people laughed. Everything was off just a little bit, and I forgot some like I used the wrong like the original punchline that sucked and instead of the one that I'd been using for the last year.
Yeah.
Like shit like that. Yeah, painful. And then you like, fuck, why did I do that?
All right, go back into the top of I'll storm anything. Let's go back all the way to the beginning. Just run it from the beginning and just take your time,
I would have made a great Viking. Look, I'm fat. I'm aggressive. I look great in horns. People tell me you look like the kind of guy who would have stormed the Capitol. You look like the kind of guy who would have stormed the Capitol. And they're right. I'm always up for a good storming, not for storming. I did it again.
Yeah, so you're right on to the next word.
Yeah. Not for the politics. I don't give a shit about that. It's just my Viking DNA. I'll storm anything. Let's go. right now.
Like, I'll storm you, lady.
I'll storm him. I don't care. I'll storm. Let's storm a Chick-fil-A. They'll never see it coming. Some 19-year-old sit-faced Christian teen on a headset to corporate. Yes, sir. I don't know what's happening. There's hundreds of them. I don't do a good kid voice.
Yeah, that's tough. You don't just kind of.
My voice is way too deep. I do. Yeah.
I don't think you need to do a kid voice. Just do it as your voice.
Hey, I don't know, sir, but there's 100.
What was that?
That was my Italian. Hey, it's a me, Mario.
Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A.
Well, this is Florida. He's Cuban.
There you go.
The Cuban Chick-fil-A workers. I don't know. I actually earlier today had like a decent like post-pubescent teenage boy voice going. I just gotta, and I was working on it, and then I forgot how to do it.
That's funny.
This is the shit that comedians spend their day doing. I wonder if I can make a post-pubescent teenage boy voice. I'm going to spend the next 4 hours figuring that out.
Yeah, really. I want to sound like a Cuban pool boy.
Yeah, that's what we do all day.
Just we're doing it for people, so that because they'll love the bit so much more when it's a Cuban pool boy.
Yeah, that's why we do it. We do it for the people.
All right, keep rolling.
Where was I? Oh yeah,
Let's go right now. Let's
go right now. Let's all storm a Chick-fil-A. They'll never see it coming. Some 19-year-old sit-faced Christian teen on a headset to corporate. You know, sir, I don't know what's happening. There's hundreds of them. There's hundreds of them. There are hundreds of them. They're demanding to know what we put in these delicious chicken sandwiches. No, sir. The recipe is safe inside the big chicken puppet. The big chicken puppet. Every time I say that, I fucking laugh. Inside the big chicken puppet. No, sir. The recipe is safe inside the big chicken puppet. But I think they know.
Yeah, there you go.
The Vikings knew how to do it, man. They didn't work for a living. They waited for someone else to work for a living. And then they took their shit. Sort of like socialists. Vikings were socialists with an edge, like a sharp metal edge. You know why I'm talking about Vikings? I think I talked about this earlier. So I'll skip that part because I'm going to do that at the kind of the beginning when I'm talking about getting stoned in the pandemic. What you need if you take someone's shit, AOC.
So Vikings.
AOC just oh yeah, that won't work in Florida. I don't know. That line will not. That'll get me heckled.
No,
AOC.
They're not for her.
No, but that's for her.
No, it's not.
Oh, I
Just
thought
the opposite.
Oh, okay. I'm reading it. When you said AOC, just a note, I'm like, yeah, start carrying a hatchet, lady. Like, so you get shit done. Because I know you're a liberal. So I'm like, he's writing that like, fucking go AOC, start beating people with hatchets, become a Viking.
No, that's so Vikings were socialists with an edge, a sharp metal edge, which is what you need if you take somebody else's shit. You know, just a note for AOC. You want to come and take people's shit and give it to other people. You might want to bring a scimitar.
That works in Florida.
Yeah. That's how I wrote it. It's like I knew they would hate, somebody with good liberal impulses.
Oh yeah, it's a shame I can't use that whole Clinton's bedroom banging his wife without going. It's too old now. Can't use it.
All right, keep going.
All right, the Vikings were into some crazy shit. First, First, they were pagans, so they could bone anybody. They didn't care. A husband or wife could bone somebody else right there in the yurt. 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 The yurt. Hurt it or the yurt. That's a is it a yurt? Was a yurt? I don't know. I thought they were, I don't know, longhouse yurt. It all sounds
Yeah, do some research on it. I just thought yurt was the funniest word.
It is. It's a great word, especially if I try to pronounce it properly about 10 times in a row.
All right, so keep going.
And it was all cool when I learned that, I was like, man, the Vikings are all right. Yeah, I mean, I guess it sucked if you saw them coming towards you in a boat. But also Norway and chill, man. I want to be a bone of Viking wife. Like, come on, Lagatha.
Lagatha. What a great name that was.
Oh, yeah. You know, those were all like real Norse like legends.
Yeah.
That whole thing.
It went downhill badly, I thought, in the last couple of seasons, but it was still fun to watch.
Yeah, there was a little too much romance and bullshit.
Yeah, and once they got the cripple kid, the cripple, he didn't really work for me.
But he's like the real fucking
I totally get it. Although they worked around it by letting him create iron legs and walk.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think the actor finally was like, look, I can't, I'm 17 and my body's breaking down here. I got to stand.
Yeah. That's a horrible role, I imagine.
And that kid looked like a fucking serial killer, man. Something in that dude. That dude just looked.
Yeah, he does look pretty evil.
Creepy.
All right. So, okay, Lagatha, they also, do the drugs part. Let's see how that sounds.
Yeah. All right, okay.
Hey, hold on just a second. I'm going to pause.
Yeah, we are back down to
back. We're back. We're where we were. We're drugs. We they also did tons of drugs.
They also did tons of drugs. That's why they were so crazy in battle. They get hopped up on weird shrooms and go raid villages. What we know is every Friday night in modern day Alabama. That's every redneck I know. Get fucked up and cause shit. That's half my high school.
Okay, now you're slowing down too much.
Yeah. It's because I'm doing drugs.
Yeah. I'm factoring that in.
They also did tons of drugs. That's why they were crazy in battle. They'd get hopped up on weird mushrooms and go raid villages. Or what we know is every Friday night in Alabama. That's every redneck I know. I get fucked up and cause shit. That's half my high school. Here's how you know Vikings did drugs. Dragons. They saw dragons. Just, hey, dude, you gotta be, dude. See that? Look, a dragon. That's like a cow, Floki.
Crow. Crow, pothead. That's a crow. That's not a cow.
Cow all day. I'm like, that doesn't really make sense. I gotta ask him about that. A cow. What's a cow flying by? Did they have flying cows in the fucking Viking? That's like a crow, dude. No, man.
Quit doing that. You can't do that yet. Don't do the accent. Yeah.
Take a hit of this. That's a dragon. Yeah. Take a hit of this, man. That's a dragon. I can work that line.
Yeah, you can play with that. So
they also like being fat because skinny people don't make it through the winter. When you're skinny, cold goes right to your bones. When you're fat, cold has to go through blubber. It gets tired. Cold gets tired. Cold has to work. It has to fight through blubber. It gets tired. Needs to feed itself.
Yeah, really. Like Cole's like sweating. He's like, whoa, man, this guy.
What the fuck, man? I gotta call a personal trainer. This is ridiculous. Somebody call my cardiologist. I need a stress test. Back to the heart attack.
I'm telling you. Something about a heart attack, once you have one, seems to stay on your mind, I've noticed.
Like being a vegan or CrossFit. Jesus, this guy is some fat piece of shit. Hey, Lordass, lose some weight. Put down the Doritos and Eskimo pies, buddy.
All right. Keep it. Next one.
The other thing I like about Vikings, they're having kicks. They're having kicks. Christian having ass. It's cool if you're a Christian.
Don't crucify me.
You guys did that to us once for not fan, or we did that to you. I don't remember. I wasn't alive. Don't crucify me. But y'all really need to upgrade your heaven. You're all nightgowns and harps and little guys with bows and arrows. Vikings had never-ending orgies in Valhalla.
Start it over again. Let's run that paragraph.
The other thing I like about Vikings, they're having kicks Christian heaven's ass. Oh, it's cool if you're a Christian. Don't crucify me or anything, but I didn't say don't crucify me. Why have Christians gotten so violent these days? But y'all really need to upgrade your heaven. You're all like nightgowns and harps and little babies flying around.
Hey, let's run it again from the top.
All the way up the top? Or that
No,
paragraph?
just this paragraph, yeah.
The other thing I like about Vikings, they're having kicks Christian heaven's ass. Kicks the shit out of it. Right up and down the street. No offense. It's cool if you're a Christian. Don't crucify me. But why have Christians gotten so violent these days? I don't remember Jesus with an AR-14, but I'm just saying you all need to upgrade your heaven. Update it. You're all like nightgowns and little babies and wings and fucking harps. Vikings had never-ending orgies in Valhalla. Non-stop feasts. Crazy sex with Valkyries.
You're too over the top now. You're losing it.
I'm just saying, y'all need to upgrade your heaven. You're all like nightgowns and harps. The Vikings, they had never-ending orgies up in Valhalla. They had never-ending orgies in Valhalla. Non-stop feasts, crazy sex with Valkyries. I don't even know what those are, but it sounds awesome. Boning a Valkyrie? Hey, man, I think that Valkyrie is looking at you. Shit, dude, I think you're right. I know for sure you don't get to fuck angels in heaven. Might have gone to church if they were offering that. In Viking heaven, the party never ends. That's a heaven. No hangover. So I'll drink one to the Vikings. I miss those guys. Let's hear it for the boys. See what I mean?
Yeah, I think that stuff will work. It's got a good party atmosphere to it, and
people love Vikings.
Yeah.
People love drinking. There's yeah, and I mean, I can riff so much. I mean, I can add and take out to this. This will be easy to fucking kind of tag up on stage too, because people will get into it. It's
Yeah, for sure. There's plenty here, and like I didn't even go into the Viking lore and like the gods and all that. You could do some stuff about Thor.
oh, Thor and Loki and fucking yeah, all of that shit.
Well, why don't you take it from there and don't mess with this script too much. Like, don't tear this script down too much.
No,
But
I'll just
add
put
in a
tags.
bunch another run of whatever you want to add in.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Below it, I'm gonna put in whatever tags and things I come up with.
Yeah,
Um,
take whatever sub veers in there that you want. Take it any way you want. Just leave that shell of that script alone, and we'll do another session. After you do that, it's mostly just you getting it down. You're gonna have to do it like for some people on Zoom or something, man, to practice it. I don't know.
yeah, I'll figure out yeah, there's all these Zoom open mics. I just have been avoiding them because
Yeah, they suck. I know, but
it seems so I don't even know how that works. Like so it's just the other comics and you've got to
yeah,
look
I'm
at
sure
them
it's
while
fucking
they
horrible.
go,
Well, here's what I'm
uh,
noticing. Like, you don't really need an audience. Like, just turn on your computer and do it as if there's an audience there because it's no different, you know?
well, that's it, and the other thing I miss is when I drove, I mean, it sounds crazy, but when I was driving Uber, it was a great way to kind of get reps,
Yeah.
crowd work practice. Because I made it a point to not be the guy that just drives them around. I made it a point to try to make the ride entertaining,
Yeah.
just because I saw it as like, shit, I'm not going to get on stage for a week, but I'm going to drive 40 strangers around.
That's
I'm
hilarious.
going to oh, I would, if I would get like three or more dudes in the car, I could always figure out who the fucking butt boy in the group was, and I'd just roast him the whole ride, and all his friends would laugh at him, and I'd get 5 stars and a huge tip. I'd just find whatever they made fun of about the guy, and I would just make fun of him. I'd be like, nice sneakers, you queer. They're like, yeah, get him again, driver.
Oh, that's great. All right, man. Well, this is cool. Thanks for letting me record it.
Oh
Um,
hell, man! Thanks
yeah.
for doing it, man, and let me know. Or do you want to do another one on that political thing, the rhetoric thing sometime? Let me know, like a
Yeah,
session
I've
two
got
on
God, it's a parade of white guys right now. Like I've done almost 30 of them and 27 are middle-aged white guys.
that.
I'm like, that's the only people I've asked other people. But I got to get some kind of diversity in my friendships.
Well,
Apparently,
because you're aren't you mainly talking to people that are right of center
well, no, like
on that one?
there's part of it's converting conservatives, and so yeah, those tend to be male and white. But it's also comedians, and those tend to be male and white. You know,
Yeah, I mean, you
and
could
I've
get
had a few.
Candace Owens. She'll talk to anyone.
Who's she?
She's that black fucking right wing chick, talking head, Candace Owens.
Oh, I don't know. I don't
Oh, dude,
really like. I'll
she
track
is.
the top five, like Ted Cruz or whatever asshole is, the asshole of the moment. But
Oh, she's not a politician. She's just one of those media personalities that
okay.
is a political figure. And because she was, she's super conservative and she's African American and
Oh
she's
yeah, yeah, yeah,
female
yeah. I've seen some of that
and she's like
category.
super educated and well spoken. So she's able to utilize those incongruities.
It's something I don't understand is like the educated right wingers. Like they clearly should know that the shit they're saying is wrong. Like not culturally wrong or it's morally wrong, but it's also logically wrong.
It's I mean propaganda when you've spent 60 years
Yeah, I
being
know all those people,
told
but
that
like
it's
that's an educated person, right?
yeah, I mean, look, I talked to my dad. He's educated, he's got degrees, but he's 79
Yeah, yeah.
and
That I can
his
see
whole
that. Like
life was rah
your highways
rah.
get twisted, at that point. But
Yeah,
anyway, all
and
right,
the
man, I
older
gotta
you
go.
get,
Yeah, we'll
sure.
pop back on. We'll do some other stuff. And that again is Mike Pantzer down in Florida. He's got some Viking material coming your way soon.
Oh, rah.
Go to Mike's Funny. That's it, right? Your website, Mike's Funny.
Yeah, Mike's Funny. Mike'sFunny.com, Mike's Funny YouTube, Mike's Funny Facebook.
You know what you should do is once we get this stuff kind of cooked and you get comfortable delivering it, we'll tape you doing it on here, like all the way through without me interrupting it. And then I'll put it on my YouTube channel and you can put it on yours. And then we can then they'll see the end result of the process. It still doesn't
Yeah.
get baked in a club, but as much as we can.
For sure. And then I've got a couple headlines shows at the end of February that I'm going to tape. So, and I'll be doing this in them for sure because I'm
All right,
probably
man.
going to have to
You'll
stretch.
you'll get invited to do like Norway, the Norway tour.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, man. These chicks are hot.
All right, man. Out.
Later.
See you later.